Say YouTube. Oh man, if y'all don't know why, you know, I'm gonna change my intro to that. Like for now on, it's gonna be say YouTube with the evil smile and grin. And if you guys don't understand that, go back and watch the Super Bowl halftime performance, and you will understand that right there. But what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys the NBA slate breakdown for the 9-game leading up to the All-Star Weekend slate for today. If you guys new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos win you guys some money, or you just actually enjoy the content. We are close to 1,400 subs, so thank you. Shout out to everybody that's finding the channel and new and actually enjoying the content and stuff. I see the comments of the new people whenever they say, you know, hey, you found this, glad that I did, good stuff that you got going on over here. Thank you, means a lot. Hopefully you guys join us for the WNBA season. We continue to get new eyes over there to the ladies and the product and everything that they're putting on out over there, because of course when NBA winds down, I still got stuff over here because I cover the WNBA as well. As you guys can see, yesterday was not a bad day, but as you can see in the caption, Diabite, he got injured. You can't see him. He's down there at the bottom underneath Damian Lillard and Ochai Agbaji. Can't see that guy. Can't scroll it down far enough for it to show up on my my OBS. But man down. Talk about a I legit was close to having a takedown, because as you can see, Tyrese Maxey, lower than low owned, dropped the same fantasy score that that Kate Cunningham went out there and did. Seth Curry should have been higher owned than that, 29% starting. I was very shocked at that right there. Seth Curry went out there, dropped a 40 burger. Kyle Kuzma, I told you guys, if Kyle was not over 75 to 100% owned, then it was just wrong. But of course, you couldn't have went wrong with well, technically you did have to have Kyle Kuzma, but you couldn't have went wrong if you still played Bobby Portis. He still went out there and dropped 40 plus fantasy points, that was great. But Miles Bridges, he definitely went out there and cooked. Definitely wish that he could have broke at least like the 50 burger range, because that definitely would have put me over the top. And then Dame Dalla, himself, 69 fantasy points. Ochai Agbaji only ended up making the switch to Ochai Agbaji just because when Diabite got ruled out, and I'm gonna be very honest, my lineup changed, but my core that I had posted over on the Patreon, my core was still the same. Damian Lillard, Seth Curry, Miles Bridges, Jalen Duren. Like, that was my core. That didn't change at all, as you can see. My personal lineup itself had changed because originally I had Jalen Green over Tyrese Maxey. I was trying to get my pieces from the Rockets and things like that. But when Diabite got ruled out, I had to make some changes and swap around, because I still was playing Bobby Portis with Kyle Kuzma. But once the Diabite got ruled out, going into the, like, when he went to the locker room, I was like, nope, he's not coming back. They play tomorrow. They're not going to rush him. They're not going to make him come back. So I literally went into scramble, swap around mode, and I swapped some stuff around, and that's how I was actually able to get Tyrese Maxey. I was already sitting in the cash, and I was like, I'm staying in the cash. I'm not dropping out of the cash in this it. So I went ahead, swapped up Tyrese Maxey, ended up playing Ochai Agbaji right there, and I wasn't coming off of Kyle Kuzma anyway. That was, of course, just a no-brain play, and boom, boom, bam. As you guys can see, I actually was able to go ahead and win some money and cash right there. All right, speaking of, if you guys want to support the channel, you guys want to go ahead and get my NBA core and things like that, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It is going to be right there. And coming soon to you guys, I actually am going to start up my YouTube membership, to where I will be posting my plays over here. Oh, my course over here, along with my player pool over here on YouTube for members and stuff over here on the channel, so you guys can check that out. That'll be after the All-Star break. I'm not going to do it this week, but I'm going to get that set up for next week, definitely to end out the season for you guys. Looking at it, we got, like I said, pretty nice 9-game slate. I want to say there's actually 10 games, but we don't have to worry about this Utah versus Los Angeles Lakers game being on the slate. We only got these couple teams on a back-to-back that we did have play yesterday, which was the Charlotte Hornets and Milwaukee Bucks. They will be on a back-to-back today. Still decent number of games today, and definitely some news to pay attention to. Minnesota taking on Cleveland. Anthony Edwards and Mike Conley missed last game. They are game time decisions today. Hopefully we have that news sooner rather than later. In regards to that, if they are both out again, then we will see we will see Rob Dillingham go out there and still only play 20 minutes, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker into the starting lineup. Cleveland side, I don't see anything over here for them, but let's check to make sure Cleveland's not on the front end of a back-to-back or anything for them. All right, we're in the clear. Cleveland is not on the front end of a back-to-back or anything, so we don't got to worry about that. Atlanta taking on Orlando. Trae Young, he should be playing today. No other news that we got to worry about over there. But big thing, they did actually start George Niang that they got from Cleveland Cavaliers at the power forward spot, which is actually a pretty good pickup and spot. He went out there and he balled out when he was out there. On the Orlando side, looks like Jalen Suggs is going to be doubtful again to play. Other than that, nothing else. San Antonio Spurs, Bassey is still out. Still same old starting lineup that we've been seeing over there for them. Washington, Keontae George, game time decision. Chris Middleton, Alex Sarr, Marcus Smart, Gil, Sadiq Bey, all those guys are out. They are not going to be playing. We don't have to worry about the guys that they got in the trade. I want to say that they said Chris Middleton and them aren't going to make their debut probably until after the All-Star break. Boston side of things, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are game time decisions. Drew Holiday has already been ruled out. We don't have to worry about Boston sitting any guys because they're not on the front end of back-to-back or anything like that. So that is okay. I expect for Brown and Tatum to actually play. Porzingis off of the injury report as well. Miami side of things, Wiggins makes his debut today. So that'll be interesting right there for them. Jaime Jaquez, game time decision, and Jovic, he is probable to play. Charlotte Hornets on their back end of back-to-back. They sat LaMelo Ball. That was the other thing that kind of swapped up and changed things too yesterday, while Miles Bridges just went from being like here for me to, oh yeah, I got to play him. Right there. Nick Smith as well. He sat out yesterday. Josh Green, he was out, and Diabite, of course, he left the game. So no telling if he's going to actually play or not. Mark Williams is doubtful to play, but he is going back to the team. Interesting to see how that's going to look. Because they just signed Diabite to a 3-year contract. So interesting. I think they still moved Mark in the offseason. On the Brooklyn side of things, D'Angelo Russell, he's a game time decision. Other than that, same old over there for them. Golden State Warriors taking on Milwaukee. What did you guys think about Jimmy Butler out there with the Warriors? Like, does it look like he found his joy? Because I think he might have found his joy playing with one of the best three-point shooters in the world. And it looked like Curry, picked the right day to be back on the Curry train. And we're going right back to that train today. Telling you, great matchup. Long as he plays, but he's a game time decision. Hopefully he's out there. If Curry's out, I would imagine Pod starts at the point guard position right there, and then Pod just becomes like a great play. But then of course you got to consider Jimmy Butler because his usage will definitely just be there. Like he's literally arguably the best player out there without Curry. Milwaukee, back in the back-to-back for them. Don't see any news in regards to anybody sitting. Only thing is that Giannis, we don't even have to worry about him until after the All-Star break. They said he's going to be out until then. The Pelicans taking on my Thunder. It looks like Jose Alvarado might be the starting point guard in this game. I don't know where this is coming from now, but Jose Alvarado, they got him as possibly the starter. CJ, Trey, Zion, Messi going up against my Thunder. I would imagine Chet, of course, still in that minutes limit over there for them. If they really are trying to start Jose Alvarado, Shea is literally 6'6". He's going to bully the shit out of him. Sacramento Kings taking on Dallas. Let's talk about it real quick. How y'all Dallas fans doing now that you got you got Anthony Davis, which is, yes, it's great, it's good, it's awesome. The defense, like that, he was popping, killed it in his first sprint in those minutes out there. But what we always say about Anthony Davis, the man is made of glass, and sure enough, what happened? Oh, non-contact injury. I honestly thought he blew a nut or something because the way he just went down, it was like, damn, what happened? Ain't nobody touch him? Pulled a groin, something. But yeah. That's the ebbs and flows of dealing with Anthony Davis. And I'm sorry that Dallas has to go through that. But hey, the Lakers, they still shot themselves in the foot too. They don't have a starting center, so there's that. But Sacramento Kings, no news over there for them. For the Dallas Mavericks, Dante Exum looks like he is officially now their starting two, but he's a game time decision. And then PJ Washington, he left the last game with an ankle injury. He's also a game time decision. Hopefully he does play because this is a good matchup for him going up against the Kings. Power forwards versus the Kings is actually pretty good. Denver taking on Portland. Jeremy Grant, he's a game time decision. Keegan Murray, he's a game time decision. And Time Lord is a game time decision. Other than that, no real thing to worry about over there. Then on the Denver Nuggets side of things, my boy Russell Westbrook is still out for them. Michael Porter Jr., I want to say he missed the last game if I'm not mistaken, but he's a game time decision. Aaron Gordon is going to play. Jamal Murray is going to play. And I'm not going to lie, this is not just a dub and a win for the Denver Nuggets going up against Portland. Portland's on a nasty ass win streak. They are actually decent, which is crazy. I don't know why they're winning so many games, but they playing. And I'm not gonna worry about the Utah Jazz taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, but if I got to take anything, a dog from this fight or something like that, I don't care if Doncic is playing, whatever and whatnot, I'm still gonna take Collier, that boy, for a double-double. That thing has been a wagon for the last couple of slates and days. Heading on over to DraftKings, the site I played most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. As I said in the beginning, hey YouTube, let's go ahead, let's get it. So San Antonio Spurs taking on the Washington Wizards. this is just straight out the gate. You guys already know that this is going to be goodness, especially if Washington can keep this game close. If they keep it close, then we're going to go to our normal suspects that we go to. Of course, yes, we have a slate where we have pretty much the three horsemen, the big three on here. Wemby, Giannis, but he's out. So now we only have Wemby and the Joker. Who are we going to play? Are we going to be playing Wemby? Are we going to play the Joker? I'm going to tell you the truth. Wemby is in, to me, arguably the better spot. I understand that Joker has the triple-double upside, all that other stuff going on, so on and so forth. But Wemby versus Washington, this is something that we had attacked all season, and it's something that we're going to continue to attack because they still suck guarding the center position. And Wemby has already played him earlier this season and dropped 74 fantasy points in that game. 11K versus 12.7 for the Joker. I definitely would rather take that when it comes down to it. And I would imagine that Wemby will be higher owned than the Joker on today's slate. So your direct pivot, of course, between Wemby and the Joker. Yes, 1,700 difference. You play the Joker over Wemby. That's how it would be. But cash games, anything like that, Wemby is going to be the de facto play that I would rather get to and want to go to. Outside of that, of course, Vassell in the starting lineup, 6,300. Looking like he's playing pretty good out there with De'Aaron Fox. Don't mind getting him at that 63. That's not bad at all. And then De'Aaron Fox, of course. Two great games, and then really kind of just shitted on us right here in this Orlando game. But Orlando is a actual tough defense and a tough team to play against. But I do like De'Aaron Fox, the upside, seeing the fact that he is actually still playmaking out there with Chris Paul. 9 assists in that last game. Shot just was not falling at all. This should definitely be one of those spots where the shot should be able to fall for him. Played versus Washington earlier this season. 35 minutes, dropped 44 fantasy points in that game. Of course, that was when he was on the Kings. Still a great spot for him. Now, if you want to get different, funky, go play the Rooster Chicken. Chris Paul. He's still out there. He's still playing some decent minutes, at least over 25 minutes. I don't mind that at 5.5. That's pretty good. But the one thing that lacks with Chris Paul is his scoring. He's not really out there to score. He's out there to play, make, and lead those young guys out there. But definitely makes for a GPP option that you can look to. Now, if we want to get really crazy and different, off the bench, we can look towards Castle, 5,400. We know he's going to come in, and what is he going to do? Shoot. That's literally what he's out there to do. He's out there to score. And playing very well, like him, 5,400. I would definitely take that right there. That's not a bad piece that we can get to. And then, of course, Sochan as well. Where is Sochan? I know I was just looking at him a second ago. But Jeremy Sochan, 4,600. Honestly, it's crazy that the price has dropped on him, but still putting up pretty much a fantasy point per minute when he's out there on the court. And I like his upside as well if you want to get to a cheap value piece over here from San Antonio Spurs. On the Washington Wizards side of things, the young guys, saying it time and time again, if Keontae George misses, which is really going to suck if he does, but the young guys, I love what I'm seeing from the young guys. Koulibaly, he's out there. He's balling. He's hooping in his last couple of games. Pretty much almost giving us a fantasy point per minute out there. 35 minutes versus the Atlanta Hawks. 29.75 fantasy points. But the shot attempts that he's taken, that's a really good sign that I do like to see out there. It's not just Jordan Poole out there chucking up a bunch of shots. But Koulibaly, like his upside here for him. Definitely wouldn't mind going there. Carrington, love this kid's upside. 5K going up from 33 to 45 to now 5K after having a really great and explosive game versus the Hawks in 38 minutes. Don't mind paying that for him right there. And then I know it's weird to continuously say this, but opposing centers versus Wemby, it's still been a thing. Now, if Richaun Holmes can actually go out here, he's playing 30 minutes a night. If he can go out here and give us a double-double or just give us some type of upside, still at 4,900, that is a good price to pay for him. I don't mind that. Like I said, opposing centers have actually cooked and played very well going up against Wemby. So I don't mind it at all. Diabite was pretty much in the exact same spot as Richaun Holmes, the way that I look at it. He's not really a crazy offensive threat, but he can rebound. He can was able to pass the ball, was able to get his little putbacks or his little couple of shots and stuff, just played gritty and hard. That's what Richaun Holmes can go out here and do the exact same thing. And Diabite went out there and dropped 36 fantasy points. If you're telling me I can get at least 30-ish, 35 fantasy points from Richaun Holmes at 49, I like the upside, and I definitely would take that right there. And I do think this is a pretty good spot to actually see the exact same thing for him. Besides Richaun Holmes, besides Carrington, besides Koulibaly, if this is only if Keontae George does miss this game, then I will have to have some interest in Champagnie. He was the one that got the start last time for him. 25 minutes, dropped 20 fantasy points. We'll go right back there to him. Cheap enough to go ahead and take that 4,700 price tag. I like that. The upside is definitely there. And if you want a GPP option, you can mess with Tristan. He's definitely worth it. He's pretty much playing the backup center role. If Holmes gets himself into foul trouble, then if you want to play that card, you can definitely look there. That's something that you can do. And then outside of that, of course, Jordan Poole. He's going to take his shots. He's going to go out there. He's playing at least over 30 minutes. Great spot. Opposing point guard going up against the Spurs. We can take that all day, every day. Minnesota taking on Cleveland over here. Big thing. We will get the news, of course, because it is the early game. Anthony Edwards and Mike Conley. If they are out, we will see Dillingham and Nickeil Alexander-Walker get the start. But, bro, he gets the start, only plays 24 minutes. Wasn't in foul trouble or anything like that. Shot 4 of 12, just a really poor shooting night for him. Gave us 18 fantasy points. The kid one day will be unleashed. If they start him, I definitely do think I think he might be a GPP play, because I think people just might gravitate towards Nickeil Alexander-Walker instead, just because he has more safety when it comes down to it. And Dillingham, the minutes, that is discouraging to see those minutes are right there for him, especially for the fact he started. He should have been able to go out there and play, 30 minutes out there. I mean, it was Portland. They beat them 114-98. Should have gave the young guy more run out there. But a 24 minute span, that just sucks. But the 12 shot attempts, that's very, 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 very good to see from him. Definitely wouldn't mind looking towards Rob Dillingham and Nickeil if they get to start again over Anthony Edwards and Mike Conley if they're out. If Anthony Edwards and Mike Conley are in, then of course both those guys, they make for some good plays right there, and I don't mind going to them. Definitely do like Ant-Man. The dude's on a tear. He's been just killing it and going off left and right. Definitely would look towards him. Outside of that, Naz Reid, 6,900. Dude's going to be up to 8K sooner or later. But since being in the starting lineup, which I believe was started with the Sacramento Kings, 47.25, 52, 44, 40.5. The man's consistent. And power forwards versus Cleveland has been a spot that I have not mind to attack in the past. Definitely, he can stretch the floor. I just saw Keontae George, pretty much rookie, 33.25 fantasy points going up against Cleveland as well. I don't mind playing power forwards. Jason Tatum, 46 fantasy points. Of course, that's Tatum. Adebayo, 37 fantasy points. I definitely would take the upside for Naz Reid, especially if Ant misses, if Conley misses and stuff. He's going to have to go out there and score. That's what they're going to rely on. Outside of Naz, sneaky good, just crazy. The fact that his shot is just falling. 3-and-D player himself. Jaden McDaniels, the dude's showing he has an offensive bag. Definitely wouldn't mind getting to him as well. If Ant misses, if Conley misses, that's a big if. If Ant is in, then Ant makes for a good play. If Conley misses, then of course Nickeil Alexander-Walker makes for a good play still, even if Ant is in. And then I do like the upside, of course, still for Naz Reid. If Ant is in, I don't still wouldn't mind playing Naz right there. McDaniels be more towards guarding Donovan Mitchell. Might not see all the shot attempts and stuff that he normally would get right there. On the flip side of things, over here on the Cleveland Cavaliers side, Donovan Mitchell, good spot. Yes, he might draw the Jaden McDaniels defense, but Donovan's been in his bag over the last couple of games. 46 and 57 fantasy points coming off of these last two games versus Washington, Boston. Don't mind looking towards him right there. Then, of course, you guys already know when it comes down to playing on Cleveland, I will gravitate right back towards him every time and time again. Evan Mobley, another player that I just really like, the ups and downs, but he's typically pretty consistent for me. 8,400, wouldn't mind getting there to him. I definitely can see myself going there. Of course, Jarrett Allen, he's gonna have to play some decent minutes going up against Rudy Gobert. You can definitely mess with that. DeAndre Hunter. Did they actually start Hunter? Yeah, I think they started DeAndre Hunter. Did they? I feel like they did. Hold on, wait a minute. All right, so I lied. He did not make a debut yet, but he should actually be available for this game. That'll be interesting to see how that's going to mess with the rotation. So that is going to take me off of players like Max Strus, Ty Jerome, everyone else off the bench, Sam Morrell, the guys that will be in the rotation. I primarily will only focus on Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. That's be where I would want to look towards and go to right there. Next game, we got Orlando taking on Atlanta. Trae Young, if he's in, of course, really don't have to talk up Trae. Trae is Trae. Decent spot for him. I wouldn't mind taking him versus Orlando. He's actually played pretty well versus them in the past. Opposing point guards, as long as you actually will shoot and definitely can play make, you can go out here and have a pretty good game versus Orlando, which we know Trae will have to do. Okongwu, 6,200. Definitely wouldn't mind going back to him. He's given us some ups and downs. Makes for a good GPP option. Opposing centers going up against Orlando, though. They've been cooking over the last several games. Wemby dropped 49 on 50 fantasy points. The Joker dropped 66. Sabonis 41. Quentin Post. I know, kind of weird, but he put up a fantasy point per minute when he was out there. 21 minutes, 22 fantasy points. Walker Kessler, 32 fantasy points. I can keep going. Okongwu, very capable of doing what he does when he goes out here. Only thing is that Clint Capella is back, so maybe those minutes will be a little splittish again, but still, I do like the upside for Okongwu just because he is officially the starting center. He should be out there, play his minutes, do his role, do what he got to do. Now, the big thing is that they looks like they started Yang looked like he made his debut versus them. in the starting lineup, went out there and balled out 35 fantasy points in 26 minutes. If they start him again, definitely wouldn't mind going towards him. He will have to deal with trying to guard Paulo out there. Hopefully he doesn't get himself in foul trouble, but makes for a decent GPP option. I do like the upside for Ricochet here in the spot. He has been balling over the last couple of games, but they just need to release the dude, let him get some minutes. Still wouldn't mind taking his upside, makes for a good GPP option, but really it's going to be Trey and Okongwu will be the main two I want to get from that game if I do want to take something. 220 total, one of the lower totals on the slate. Really don't have to force anything from that game. On the flip side of things, France Paulo. Who you going to take? Who you going to play? I'm going to take Paulo. Paulo, he's just been very much a GPP option, giving us some really ups and downs in regards to what he has gone out here and done over his last several games. But if he's actually out here playmaking like what he normally does, if he's out here getting those rebounds, and if the shot is falling, because that's really just what's been killing him, is he's been just taking some really poor shots, hasn't really had the ball falling into the hoop and stuff for him. 8,300, I would definitely take that over playing France. I don't mind it. I think the upside makes for it, and he makes for a good GPP option to be able to go out there low owned and explode for a 50 fantasy point type game. I really do like the upside for him there. Now, outside of that, you can play opposing centers, of course, going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Not scared of that. Goga, was typically a GPP darling that we used to go to early in the season, but opposing centers, they can definitely cook going up against Okongwu. Don't mind him at that 5K price tag. That makes for a really decent mid-tier option at the center position that I wouldn't mind getting to. Then, of course, Cole Anthony, as long as they're going to start him and he's going to go out there and at least play hopefully 25 minutes, not 21 like he did versus San Antonio, or 22 versus Denver. He does have 40 plus fantasy point upside, even when he does play limited minutes, 27, 28 minutes, dropped 40 in back-to-back games. I wouldn't mind playing Cole, 5,400. Definitely does have the upside, especially because it is Atlanta. Definitely would be a spot that I wouldn't mind getting to, and I can mess with right there. If you want another GPP sneaky low owned play, I would say KCP in that starting lineup. As long as he's starting, I wouldn't mind playing him. Going over to Charlotte, taking on Brooklyn. I'm going to be very honest. I can't really endorse anything from this game because injury report, got to know who's actually going to be in, who's going to be out for Charlotte, and it's just way too many ups and downs and unknowns. If Melo plays, of course you can mess with Melo, but I will say Brooklyn actually plays some really great and decent defense. It's been kind of scary what they've been doing out here on the defensive side of the ball and things. I would say if Diabite is out, then you are going to have some value at the center spot, especially if Nurk is still not able to make his debut. Then we are going to have to look towards Jeffries. He went out there, played a good chunk at the center spot out there, as you can see, 30 minutes, but only 7.75 fantasy points. But opposing centers versus the Brooklyn Nets has been something that we've attacked. So I definitely could see possibly looking towards that direction. I would imagine Melo plays. You could definitely mess with Melo, but 9-9. Brooklyn Nets, man, it's actually a tougher matchup for him on paper than what you would actually think it would be. On the flip side of things, over here for the Brooklyn Nets, depending on what the heck is going on with D'Lo, let's look at that real quick. D'Angelo Russell, questionable Monday's game due to an illness. Hopefully he gets over his sickness and can actually play. Only played 26 minutes in that last game versus Miami, which really sucks because I want to see D'Lo play 30 plus minutes, but they're not giving it to him. So again, when it comes down to looking over here at the Brooklyn Nets, I'm just going to continue to focus on what I focused on, which is the guys that are actually getting minutes. And I said it time and time again, for me, that's going to be Keon Johnson. The dude goes out here, he gets his minutes, he plays, he gives us a pretty good fantasy support per minute. The upside is definitely going to be there for him. I don't mind it. They blew out Miami 102-86. I'm not going to mind this 23 because still in 23 minutes, he dropped 28 fantasy points. The upside is there for him. I'll take it. Opposing centers going up against Charlotte, of course we can take that. We just saw Jalen Duren go out there in foul trouble in limited minutes, still dropped a 40 burger on their head. Nick Claxton, man's getting the minutes. No trade rumors, deadlines, all that good stuff is gone. Claxton, I definitely wouldn't mind going ahead and taking him, especially even if he's dealing with Nurk out there. Played going up against the Charlotte Hornets early this season, 28 minutes, dropped 35 fantasy points. We can still go ahead and take that. The upside is definitely going to be there for him. And then, of course, my last one is going to be Zaire. He's going to play the minutes, 32 minutes, 27.75 fantasy points. Definitely would look towards him as well. Those are going to be the main guys. The main plays for me over here from Brooklyn is literally those three right there. Those are the main ones that I want to get to if I am going to mess with that over there. Boston taking on Miami, the new look Miami. Andrew Wiggins, he might come out here and make a statement. all the main guys that we normally play over here for Boston: Tatum, Brown, KP, of course, Derek White, which really just let me down, and it's frustrating when I go ahead and I get back on the Derek White train. Doesn't go out there and do anything. Played him versus Dallas, 26 minutes, 23.75 fantasy points. 25 minutes versus New York Knickerbockers. Of course, they blew them out. Went out there, had a phenomenal game. Phenomenal. 4 of 7 from 3, 4 assists. Looked great. All plays actually that too I was looking at for the day. 30.25 fantasy points. Really gut check and killed me to see that. 6,300. If Miami can keep this game close, Boston on the road, they're completely different than Boston at home. So I think Miami, well-coached team, they could possibly keep it close. But for me, it'll be all the main guys over here. And then you guys already know when it comes down to it, for me, I will take Kristaps Porzingis, especially going up against Khalil Ware. He should probably be able to get him into foul trouble. As long as that shot is falling, all right there, might be one of those games we can get back on to the Porzingis 2 threes and 15 points. I can see going towards that today. Only 26 minutes versus Dallas, 28.25 fantasy points. I wouldn't mind going over there to KP. If somebody misses, then, you know, of course, vice versa. Someone gets a boost over there on the Boston side. But really, just the main guys. Over here, going over to the Miami Heat side, Tyler Hero, Bam. Kind of can't go wrong with either one of those guys over here. Typically shooters going up against Boston. I'll take that, and I'll play that all day. But I will say I kind of want to see what they're going to look like with Wiggins being thrust in there. That's some shot attempts and stuff right there that is going to be taken away from other people. You're going to be trying to integrate him, get him used to this team, and getting into the flow of things over there. So really kind of a stay away from me over here from Miami. All of them, for me personally, will be GPP. If you want to take something that might be able to pop, will be very low owned, and again, is very GPP just because he's been so up and down. Take Khalil Ware, 6,100. Definitely a very big GPP over there for me. Golden State Warriors taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Steph Curry. Long as he's in, love the upside, love the spot for him. Questionable for this game due to a left quad soreness. Let me make sure the Warriors, they are not on the front end of a back-to-back or anything like that. They don't play again until I'm pretty sure they don't play again until Wednesday. Warriors. Yep, they don't play again until Wednesday. Yes, please give me Steph Curry. Long as he plays 8,700, he will find his way back above the 9K price tag sooner or later. He's coming off of 52, 56, 47 fantasy point games. He's going to find his way back. This is another great matchup. We just saw Tyrese Maxey drop 56 fantasy points versus the Bucks. Went out there, killed it from 3. If Curry is legit able to light it up from 3, he's had 2 days off. You good, Curry. Come out here and play, bro. I definitely do ladder his threes again. I mean, shit, he's knocking them down from 3. You got another all-star out there that definitely will gravitate some pull over there from you, so you can actually get those shots back off. Warriors offense kind of is clicking. The only thing that's really messing up is the fact that you still have Draymond Green out there. But outside of that, if Curry misses, then yes, Podziemski, he gets thrust into a pretty nice role. Wouldn't mind going towards him. Still playing some really great minutes off the bench. We know he's out there in the rotation. You can definitely mess with that because they will just run Draymond Green at the center spot. They play, of course, that small ballish lineup out there for him, so you can mess with that. You can go there. Don't mind that at all. Outside of that, in the starting lineup, Buddy Hield, would think that maybe Jimmy might take some shots away or something like that. Still went out there and played very well going up against Chicago. 28 minutes, 30.75 fantasy points. Firmly in play at 4,800 price tag, especially because he's starting. We know he's going to get the minutes, so don't mind going playing Buddy, which is actually cheaper than Pod. But either one of these guys, don't mind going to either one. And then if Curry misses, then Jimmy Butler, he cares again. So we can care. I would definitely play Jimmy Butler right here if Curry was to miss. If Curry misses, then Jimmy is literally just the shot attempts. Everything's going to be there for him. Besides Pod, Buddy, Jimmy Butler. Like, it's literally going to be that pecking order. On the Milwaukee Bucks side of things, over here for them, I will say back in a back-to-back for them, kind of If they start Kuzma again, his price really still hasn't been adjusted, 5,300. Of course, after their mistake of 38, I still wouldn't mind playing Kuzma. Looked pretty good out there in the starting lineup. Didn't look bad. Very active. Definitely could have got more shots to go down. Took some crazy shots out there for himself, but I can see myself getting back to Kuzma 5,300. Don't mind that at all. But if they do start Bobby, then of course it's going to be Bobby all day, man. The dude is just a menace, a monster. 30 minutes still off the bench, 44 fantasy points. Man is balling, playing his ass off, honestly. Ever since he left the Chicago Bulls, dude. Man's been a monster. You can mess with Damian Lillard, 9,200, but I really don't want to go there, especially when I could just get Steph Curry as long as he plays. On the flip side, for 87, 89, I'd rather just play that right there. Same upside for both these guys over there. But again, Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma, either one of those guys, don't mind taking them. I'm not going to chase the Gary Trent Jr. game. Not going to chase anything else over there from anybody, but it will mainly be Bobby, Kuzma, for me over here for them on the Bucks side of things. All right, man, we got 3 more games. We are rolling through these games right now. If you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Definitely help me out with the algorithm and everything. Get it out there to more people, please. You ever been home alone and you just hear like a random ass sound while you are like doing something? Like, yeah, I just got freaked out for a second. All right, New Orleans Pelicans taking on my Thunder. Tell you the truth, typically I say small forwards and the shooting guard position has actually been pretty much actually giving us some trouble over the last several games. They've actually been able to go out there and shooters, you stand in the corner and you're actually able to get off your shots. But I expect this to be ass whooping from the Thunder side of things. If you want to try to take something, you think this game could definitely be competitive and be close enough, Zion would have to go out here and legit put on his Superman cape and go out there and deliver a 44 to 50 fantasy point outing. And that's if he can actually get to the rim in the non-Chet minutes that Chet is not out there. But he makes for a good GP option. Wouldn't mind looking towards Zion. And then outside of Zion, CJ McCollum, the dude's, if he's playing point, playing the 2, either one, he's going to shoot. He's going to try to do what he got to do. Keep him in this game, 7,900. Either one of those guys. Murphy, Messi, Alvarado, Hawkins, all these guys are GP options. And honestly, I really don't want to get anything from the Pelicans. I just see this being a wash of a game over here for them. 234 total, but a 16-point spread. And of course, rightfully so. On the flip side of things, though, Jalen Williams firmly in play. Isaiah Hartenstein, we know opposing centers going up against the Pelicans has been a thing. iHeart 6,800, 32 minutes versus Memphis, 14.5 fantasy points. The man is a beast. Even with Chet being out there in 26 minutes, he put up a fantasy point per minute, 26 fantasy points. It's crazy. His price is dropping down. I know as Chet get integrated and more stuff goes on with that, stuff is going to change around a little bit, but I still wouldn't mind taking iHeart right there. Chet until he gets his minutes ticked up, which will probably be after the All-Star break. Then, and we see like how exactly everything is going to be rolling and flowing with this team. I'm not going to mess with trying to figure out Chet and put him into any type of situations just yet. We got to see how that's going to check out over there. Wiggins, only way I play Wiggins is if somebody misses again today. Even though he has been balling, been playing very well, 48.25 fantasy points versus Memphis. The dude's been cooking, and you see why we didn't make any trades at the trade deadline. You see exactly why. You're seeing some of the other players that we got that have a bag that literally make this team as deep as what they are. Because even though we got these starters in the starting lineup with Shea, Chet, Dort, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, we still got coming off the bench Caruso, Andrew Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace, Karen Williams, all players that actually would start on other teams, legit would actually start on other teams. So yeah, Thunder, we deep. We are truly deep out here. Outside of that, Shea, if you feel like this is going to be one of those games he puts a stamp on, he definitely does actually like playing versus the Pelicans, especially with the fact of they finally got rid of the menace that used to be out there being able to defend him. He did drop 51 fantasy points versus them earlier this season. If you want to pay 10.8 for him, go ahead, but I really don't see the need to get there when I have other guards on the slate that definitely do make for a more enticing play over him. Sacramento Kings taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Definitely some spots that maybe we can actually start to attack over here. Malik Monk looks like he's going to go out there and just do Malik Monk things, whether or not if Zach LaVine was on this team or not. Of course, he has been able to play with other shooters, technically other players that command some touches and things like that. He just played with De'Aaron Fox. So Monk, don't mind getting over there to him. Definitely would pay for him over here. 77, that's not bad right there. Zach LaVine, in his games while he's played for them, he's not doing bad. He's just not knocking down his three-point ball like he was over there for Chicago, which will come around as he continues to play more and more with them. 22 points though in his 2 games that he has played with the Sacramento Kings. That's not bad at all, and I'll take that every day, all day from him. Definitely do like that. The upside is there for him. And then of course, if you want to mess with Mr. Triple Double himself, would hope that his assists will go up with Fox being gone, but that hasn't actually happened just yet. But Sabonis, 5,100 price tag, definitely could take him. His offensive bag is there. He can go out there and give us some points and things of that nature. 9,600 price tag makes for a pivot off of like the Wemby and the Joker and things like that no one's going to actually want to play and go to. I can see myself actually getting there. Outside of that, GPP options in DeMar DeRozan and then Keegan Murray. Both of these guys really not going to go there or mess with them at all. I will say Keegan, 39 fantasy points versus the Pelicans, makes for a great GPP option, but that's all he is GPP. Jonas Valanciunas, went out there. He played 14 minutes versus the Pelicans, 15.25 fantasy points. This is while he has been on the whatchamacallits, the Sacramento Kings. Really not interested in playing him unless they're going to drop his price tag down a little bit more. Then maybe he would make for something that we can consider. Over here on the flip side, things for Dallas. Hopefully PJ Washington plays. If he does play, I do like his upside here in the spot, especially because, of course, they don't have Anthony Davis. This is back to what we have seen time and time again from the Dallas Mavericks. Someone outside of Kyrie is going to have to score and do something. And, of course, that typically ends up being PJ Washington going out there and helping to carry that offensive load. Klay Thompson going out there actually having to do something. Both these guys will firmly be in play. Hopefully PJ does play. If PJ misses, then we already know that they will typically like to play Prosper. But I always say it, even if they start Prosper, Najee Marsh has the better upside and is the better player, and hopefully they would actually start him. I would much rather approve of that. Outside of that, Daniel Gafford, opposing centers, we can actually take that. If PJ was to miss, definitely some more rebounds, things like that for Daniel Gafford. Don't mind taking him, and I mean, it's Sabonis. He's definitely bigger than Sabonis. He definitely can go out there and impose his will out there. And should actually be involved with getting out there in the post and things of that nature. 7,400 price tag makes for a really decent play right there at the center spot with all the other centers that we have on today's slate. Wouldn't mind getting to that as a possible play. Dante Exum, as long as he doesn't miss, you can definitely mess with that. But if he misses, then I would imagine Max Christie, who's been playing really well since being over for the Mavericks, would be someone that would be firmly in play and possibly could start for Dante if that becomes the case. Portland, who has been just literally killing everybody and they mamas out here whenever they out there on the slate. They're on a really crazy win streak for these guys. It's honestly just amazing. Going up against Denver, who plays a lick of no defense. So all these guys are in play for me. DeAndre Ayton, Denny Avdia, Anthony Simons, surprisingly, Scoot Henderson, who still unfortunately only plays off the bench and goes out there and gets himself into foul trouble. GPP option just because he is playing still off the bench. Not going to force that. But Kamara, 6,100 out there in the starting lineup, goes out there. I know he has a bag and can go out there and get me 35, close to 40 fantasy points. But all these guys, all these young guys, they've been just hooping, playing really well. Simons, wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and has one of his typical 35 to 40-ish fantasy point games. The upside is definitely there for him at 6,500. Makes for a really sneaky late night hammer that we can get to. Outside of that, DeAndre Ayton, you guys already know opposing centers, you can take that versus the Joker. He doesn't play defense, which is just crazy. And an aggressive center can actually go out here and have a decent game versus him. So I do like the upside for DeAndre Ayton. Wouldn't mind taking him as a possible play. Definitely can see myself getting there. Outside of that, on the Denver Nuggets side, I don't have to talk up the Joker. Jamal Murray, he's going to play. Of course, we can go ahead and play Jamal Murray on the flip side of things if we want to mess with that. But my personal favorite play over here from them, besides not the Joker, not Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, 6,100. The price tag is steadily ticking up. As long as Russ misses, he's going to play in a blowout. He's going to play if the game is close. He's going to go out there and shoot. He's going to go out there and rebound. He can play make a little bit. He plays defense. 6,100, really great. I'm probably going to end up starting to fall back off of Christian Braun once he gets to that 68, close to 7K. I don't see myself paying that for him. But right now, dual eligibility at the shooting guard and small forward, love his upside and wouldn't mind getting to him. And if Michael Porter Jr. misses, he'll end up playing the 3. That's still a good spot for him right there. And I can see myself still just going ahead and get to him. Porter missed last game due to hamstring. Hamstring tightness. So if he's in, then I definitely could see myself getting to him. 6,600. He's coming off of 3 straight games where he dropped over 30 points. Well, 30 points at least. So I can see myself going right back to him as long as that hamstring really doesn't bother him and he's out there still knocking it down from 3. I could definitely get there. But if he misses, Christian Braun, favorite play de facto. I understand that Strother is going to get the start, but still, it's Braun for me over here from the Denver Nuggets side when it comes down to it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys were able to get something from this video. 9-game slate. Really some decent games on the slate. Definitely some news we should actually have before the slate locks and everything of that nature. As always, hopefully you guys hit the subscribe button over here on the channel so you guys don't miss any of the content I do drop over here. Good luck to everybody on tonight's slate. Let me know, what is your favorite stud on tonight? Good luck. Peace.